The palace smelled of roses, but beneath it, something rotted. I arrived at Kensington Palace. Just after noon. A footman opened the grand door. No smile, just a nod. Inside, everything was polished. Marble floor, gold trim, old portraits. They stared, too long. The scent of roses filled the air. Too sweet, almost like a cover. I walked in. The place looked perfect. But something felt wrong. I wasn't invited alone. The invitation came from Prince George. But I knew why I was really here. It was because of Poirot. His name gets attention, especially when things go missing. A servant led me down a hallway. Every step echoed. Silence, controlled, like the palace was listening. At the suite, I left my bag, straightened my tie. A large mirror watched me. I met the other guests in the drawing room, 10 of them, all rich, all quiet. They glanced at me, then away, measuring, pretending not to. I spotted Prince George, rigid, watching everyone. Beside him, Princess Marina smiled, too perfectly. A maid adjusted her gown. Her hands shook. Across the room, a man stared at Marina too long. His eyes didn't blink. Poirot hadn't arrived yet, but I knew he'd see what I was seeing. Tension, small cracks in faces, too many secrets, too many eyes. I poured a drink. The glass shook, slightly in my hand. Then I heard it, a woman's laugh, light, charming, but it echoed, too long. And no one in the room was laughing. Not everyone invited to the palace came for dinner. The drawing room looked full, but quiet. I counted the guests again, 10. The silence wasn't natural, just contained. Perfume lingered in the air, too many kinds, layered. One smelled bitter. Crystal glasses clinked softly. A fork fell. No one laughed. Dupont stood near the window. French, artist, loud tie, quiet mouth. His eyes stuck on Princess Marina. Next to him, Baron Heinrich von Stahl, German, diplomat, didn't speak, didn't smile, just watched. Then there was Mrs. Evelyn Carmichael, widow, wealthy, red lips, diamond earrings. Her voice cut clean when she did speak. Dr. Gordon, a Scottish historian, held a drink too long. Eyes darted, kept looking at the display case, with royal items. Thomas, the valet, moved behind the chairs. Charming smile, quick hands. Clara, Marina's maid, stood near the table, still, protective. A housemaid brushed past the curtain. I didn't catch her face. Too many people, too many stories. I looked toward the door. Still, no sign of Hercule Poirot. A footman handed out drinks. He walked slowly, too slowly, like he was listening to the room. Prince George stood alone now, talking to no one. Marina wasn't with him. Strange. Baron whispered something to Carmichael. She smiled, but it didn't reach her eyes. The artist turned his back on the group, adjusted his cuff. Clara didn't move. Then, Marina entered, eyes scanning, smile fixed. She nodded to Dupont. He stepped forward, like waiting for a cue. George's jaw tightened. Everyone was pretending. They weren't pretending. And just then, the door opened. Hercule Poirot entered. Same suit, same shoes, same sharp eyes. Everyone turned to him. He didn't smile. He just scanned the room. One look at Dupont, then Marina, then the maid. He walked over to me, said nothing, for a few seconds. Then he leaned closer, and murmured, "Someone here hides more than just secrets. Even velvet-lined boxes can lie." The Kent diamonds were placed on display. Just after 4, a black leather case sat on Marina's dressing table, velvet-lined, lock-polished. The necklace didn't just sparkle, it dared you to look longer. Princess Marina stood beside it. She looked proud, but not calm. Her fingers fidgeted with her bracelet. Her eyes kept checking the case. Clara Evans, her maid, hovered nearby. She didn't look away from the box. She wiped a spot on the glass that wasn't there. She adjusted the fabric inside, though it didn't need adjusting. I moved closer. She glanced up, didn't speak. "Impressive," I said. She nodded. "Her Highness treasures them deeply." "Do you guard them personally?" I asked. "Always," she replied. "No one touches them but me." Her tone was final. Marina didn't join the conversation. She simply turned and left the room. Clara followed her for a few steps, then came back, eyes on the case. A valet passed the door, then the artist, then Baron von Stahl. The diamonds stayed still, but the air felt pressured. I looked again at the box. Too clean, too exposed, too tempting. I stood a while longer. Clara stood too. Neither of us said anything. Then she said, almost to herself, "I never leave them." I turned to go, and heard it, a faint rustle, fabric moving, but when I looked back, the hallway was empty. Surprise, urgent business. Never smells like roses. At 4:15, Princess Marina came down the staircase. She was alone. Her walk was fast, eyes forward. She didn't greet anyone. Clara, already waiting, moved to her. "Clara," Marina said, "I need to step out briefly. Should I alert His Highness?" "No, it's personal." She paused. "Take care of the gown and the diamonds." Then she left, through the side corridor. Clara didn't question her. She nodded, turned back toward the suite. I stood nearby, pretending to check my notebook. Clara entered the suite again. She straightened the gown on the hanger. The leather case still sat on the table. She didn't open it. She just looked at it. The room was silent, except for the sound of fabric shifting. Thomas appeared at the doorway. "Clara, have you seen the directory for the bootmaker?" She stepped out with him. "In the sitting room, I think. I'll show you." They both walked away, talking quietly. Now the diamonds were alone. The case was still locked, but no one watched it. Footsteps passed the hall, light ones. I stood still. I moved to the hallway, leaned against the wall. From the side corridor, someone appeared. A housemaid, Elise. She didn't see me. She didn't look. She moved close to the suite door, then turned, quickly. She vanished into another corridor. No one called her. No one stopped her. But she had no reason to be there, and she didn't come back. What was full is now empty. At exactly 7 p.m., Marina returned. Her walk was slow, her hands clenched. She went straight to her suite. No small talk, no delay. I followed her from a distance. Quietly, she opened the door, stopped. I stepped closer. She stared at the table. The case was open. The velvet inside was empty. Her breathing changed. She stepped back. One hand went to her mouth. She said nothing. I took a step in. The necklace was gone, completely. She turned sharply, closed the door behind her. I stood outside. Within 2 minutes, Prince George arrived. He didn't knock. He went in. Shouting followed. "What do you mean they're gone?" "I don't know. I didn't touch them. You left them out." "I was only gone for a little while." Silence. Then quieter voices. I waited until George called my name. "Hastings, send for Monsieur Poirot. Now." I found Poirot in the library. He was reading, calm as ever. "Trouble," I said. "The diamonds are missing." He closed the book, got up. No words. We walked quickly to the suite. George opened the door. Poirot entered first. Marina stood near the window, pale. George spoke low. "We have guests arriving tomorrow. This cannot go public." Poirot nodded. "Discretion will be maintained," he said. George pointed. The case was locked. No one should have touched it. Poirot examined the table, the box. He didn't speak for a full minute. Then he said, "Where was the key kept?" Marina said, "In the drawer. It's still there." Poirot opened the drawer. The key was there. He touched the velvet inside the case, then the lock. He stood back. I watched his face. He leaned toward me and whispered, "We are already too late. Where dust gathers, footsteps flee." Poirot knelt by the dressing table. He didn't touch the box again. Instead, he looked around the room, slowly, carefully. "No broken locks," he said. "No signs of force." I nodded. The drawer too. It wasn't damaged. Poirot stepped to the edge of the wall. He examined the corner near the hallway. "Observe," he pointed. "Here, a faint scratch. Fresh." I squinted. A thin line, on the paint. "Someone passed in a hurry," he said. He moved to the floor next. Dust near the leg of the chair had been disturbed. A trail, small, but real. He walked to the far wall and stopped. Beneath the curtain hem, something stuck out. He bent down, picked it up. A black button, slightly scratched. He held it in his palm. "This," he said, "does not belong to the guests." I took a closer look. The thread was frayed. "It's from a uniform," I said. "We," he replied. "Staff, perhaps a maid." Clara entered the room, pale. "I didn't leave the door open," she said quietly. Poirot looked at her. "You didn't need to," he said. "The thief had a way." She looked at the button, didn't react. Poirot asked, "Who else had access to this room?" "Just me, and Marina, and the other staff." She hesitated. "The housemaid, Elise, she cleans here." Poirot turned to me. "Where is she now?" "I don't know," I said. "She was in the corridor earlier." Clara frowned. "I haven't seen her since." Poirot walked to the hallway. He checked both sides. Then he looked at the guard near the stair. "Has Elise passed through?" The guard shook his head. "No, sir, not since morning." Poirot turned back to me. "Find her," he said. "But start with this." He held up the button. "Elise is nowhere to be found. Behind every locked door is a locked truth." Poirot moved the questioning to the Duke's study. One by one the guests were called in. First, Henri Dupont. He adjusted his cuff before sitting. His hands shook slightly. Poirot asked, "You were near the princess earlier. Do you often paint your subjects from memory?" Dupont smiled faintly. "Only when the light is poor. You were not seen from 4 to 6. I was sketching in my room. No witness." "No." Poirot paused. "Did you know about the necklace?" "Only what Marina told me. She spoke of it with pride." "Did you admire her?" "Still." Dupont's smile dropped. "I respect her. Nothing more." "Did you ever enter her suite?" Dupont shifted. "Never alone." Poirot leaned back. "That will be all." Baron Fonstal. He walked in stiff, back straight, face unreadable. Poirot asked, "You remained in your room?" "Yes." "You wrote letters?" "Yes." Can you produce them? They are confidential, diplomatic. Poirot didn't blink. Then I will need the envelopes. Baron didn't respond. You are aware the necklace is missing. Everyone is. Now, any thoughts? Baron's voice dropped. I've seen royals fall. For less. He stood. Are we done? Poirot nodded. For now. Mrs. Carmichael. She entered, with perfume trailing behind her. She sat, legs crossed, smile controlled. Poirot asked, You seemed quite observant earlier. She smirked. I always am. Did you notice anything odd? She paused. I saw movement, in the far corridor. When? Around 5. Could have been a servant. Face. No. A shadow. Quick. Gone before I looked twice. Do you often drink during the day? She narrowed her eyes. Not enough to hallucinate, monsieur. Poirot looked satisfied. Thank you. She stood. Don't wait too long, Poirot. Shadows grow bolder, in silence. Dr. Gordon. He entered slowly. His hands were tight around a notebook. Poirot asked, You seemed interested in the diamonds. I study artifacts. You stared at the case. For too long. I study settings too. Where were you between 4 and 6? In the library, with others. Did you ever go near Marina's suite? He hesitated. Poirot leaned forward. I saw someone, Gordon whispered, but I dare not say who. Where sunlight doesn't reach, secrets take root. Poirot wanted to walk the gardens. I need fresh footprints, he said, unspoiled by gossip. I followed him. We didn't talk much. The gravel crunched under our shoes. Grass smelled sharp, wet. He paused near a rose bush, looked down, bent. Something small was half buried in the soil. He pulled it out. It was a key. Silver, clean, smooth edges. This is not old, he said. This was made recently. He turned it, slowly, in his fingers. No scratches, no rust. It hasn't been used much. But it's the same cut, I said. Yes, he replied. It would open the case. We both stared at it. No forced entry, Poirot whispered. Because the thief had this. I checked the bush again. Nothing else. He put the key in his coat. We moved toward the east side, near the servants' path. A guard was standing there. Poirot asked, Have you seen anything strange? The guard hesitated. Yesterday afternoon, around 5. Yes, I saw someone in servant uniform. Who? I thought it was a housemaid. But what? She was watching the princess's door, he said. Then she saw me, and vanished, behind the hedge. The thief may not be who we see, but who we overlook. We returned to the palace. Inside, the hall was quiet. Poirot didn't speak. He walked straight toward Marina's suite. I followed him. Near the door, something caught his eye, a champagne glass, set on a small table beside the wall. He picked it up with a handkerchief. Lipstick smudge, bright red, faintly fresh. He smelled it, then handed it to me. Recently used, he said. I nodded. We weren't at a party. No one had been drinking here. He placed the glass down again. I looked around. No one in sight. But the silence felt heavy. Poirot turned toward the stair. Marina was there, not moving, just watching. She didn't look surprised. She didn't speak either. Poirot stepped forward. She stepped back, slowly, still watching. I opened my notebook, wrote down the time, 7:43 p.m. Poirot said nothing, just observed her. She didn't blink. He waited, 5 seconds, then turned to me. We waited, 5 seconds, then turned to me. Guilt has fast feet. It started with footsteps, fast, light, running. I turned the corner and saw a blur. Someone in dark clothing, running down the east wing. Stop, I shouted. 2 guards heard me. They joined. We followed. The figure slipped through the service corridor. We gained ground. He took a wrong turn. Dead end. Trapped. The guards grabbed him. He didn't fight, just looked down. No uniform, not a servant, not a guest. Unknown. Thin, pale, breathing hard. Who are you? I asked. No reply. We searched his coat. Inside pocket, a folded paper. Poirot arrived seconds later. He opened the note. Only 5 words, written in sharp ink. Retrieve the envelope. No delay. I looked up. What envelope? The man stayed silent. Poirot folded the note, carefully, then stepped back. The guards took the man away. Poirot said nothing. We turned toward the main hall. I paused, looked up. Marina was standing at her window. She wasn't moving, but her hands were shaking. Hands that dust can also steal. Elise was brought to the study. She didn't resist. 2 guards stood behind her. Poirot sat. She stayed standing. I watched quietly from the side. Poirot placed a small item on the table. The button. She looked at it. Her hand twitched. Yours? Poirot asked. She didn't answer. He took out the uniform jacket, held it up. The missing button matched perfectly. Still, she said nothing. Speak now, Poirot said, or you'll speak in court. She swallowed hard. My name is not Elise. Poirot leaned forward. Go on. My name is Sophie Lauron. Hastings wrote it down. Go on. Poirot said again. I work freelance, she whispered. I was sent to observe. Just watch, listen. By whom? She hesitated. I don't know the real name. I was paid in cash. Poirot nodded. And the necklace? Someone sent a duplicate key. I was told to open the case, photograph the necklace. No theft. That wasn't part of the job. Then what happened? Something changed. She looked down. I think someone else wanted it gone. Poirot tapped his fingers on the table. You entered the suite. Yes. Quickly. No one saw. You left the door unlocked. I was in a hurry. Poirot stood, walked once around her. Are you the only one involved? She shook her head. No. Who else? I don't know. But I didn't know. The diamonds were fake. The thief stole fakes. But the real betrayal ran deeper. Sophie sat in the study, hands folded, eyes down. Poirot paced. Slowly. You were used, he said. She nodded. Once. Who contacted you? I told you. I don't know their name, but they were here. Silence. Inside the palace? Another pause. She nodded again. Poirot stopped pacing. Someone from the guest list? Sophie didn't answer. He pressed again. Staff. Her fingers twitched. I never saw their face, she said, but I received instructions. How? A note slid under my door. Every morning. You kept them? No. I burned them. That was the rule. Poirot crossed his arms. You said someone else took the real necklace. Yes. Who? I don't know. But you suspect? She stayed quiet. Poirot stared at her. You were hired to be seen. A distraction. I think so. To make someone else's job easier. Sophie finally looked up. Yes. Poirot stepped back. You're hiding the name. I have to. Why? Because I'm more afraid of them than of you. Poirot turned to me. We are not chasing a thief, he said. We are chasing a puppet master. Prized. Prized. Her mind the case. Prized Ford. For prized Ford. 5 poet. A puppeteer always hides behind the curtain. Poirot entered Dupin's room. Alone. He didn't knock. The door had been left slightly ajar. Inside, the bed was unmade. Sketches lay on the desk. Scattered. He sorted through them. Marina's face appeared. Again and again. Some were flattering. Some obsessive. He opened the top drawer. Letters. All unpaid bills. Art supplies. Travel. Clothes. One from a gallery. Final notice. He opened the next drawer. 3 pawn slips. Names scratched off. But the address was visible. A broker in the lower city. Poirot made a note. He took one envelope from the desk. Empty. But a faint pencil mark showed a shape. Necklace-like. He turned to me. We go now. We're not here for that, Poirot replied. He showed one of the pawn slips. The man looked at it. Ah, the artist. He pawned jewels. Poirot asked. No. A sketch. Of what? The man went to the back. Returned with a rolled paper. Unrolled it. A full-color, hyper-detailed drawing of the Kent diamond necklace. Date. 2 weeks ago. Poirot didn't react. He asked, did he mention a buyer? No, but he said it was urgent, paid well. Where did he go next? I don't know. Poirot took a long look at the sketch, then rolled it back up. He said, he crafted more than portraits. Even queens can bleed behind diamonds. Poirot called a private meeting. Just 3 people. Marina, George, and me. She sat upright, eyes steady. George looked angry, tense. Poirot stood between them. He placed the pawn slip on the table, said nothing. Marina looked at it, then at Poirot. It's real, she said. You already know. Poirot didn't move. She exhaled. I pawned the diamonds. George stood. You what? She kept looking at Poirot. I had no choice. You lied to me, George snapped. I protected you, Marina said. George shook his head. By staging a robbery? No, she said. By hiding the truth. Poirot raised one hand. Why? He asked. Marina closed her eyes. I was being blackmailed. By whom? She hesitated. I don't know. Letters arrived every week. Demands. Threats. What did they threaten? To expose something. From my past. True? Poirot asked. Marina didn't answer. She continued. I needed funds. Quietly. George spoke low. You should have come to me. I couldn't, she said. I thought if I pawned the necklace, paid them, it would end. Commissioned in secret. Only the setting is original. Where is the real one? In the vault, she said. Under my name. In Zurich. George looked at her, shocked. Still, you let all this happen, he said, and you watched it unfold. Marina looked down. I thought it was the only way to save us. When all masks fall, the silence turns to storm. Poirot called everyone to the great hall. Every guest, every staff member. No speeches, no introductions. He stood at the center, calm, focused. I will speak once, he said. Then the truth will speak louder. First, he pointed to Sophie. Her name is not Elise. Murmurs followed. She is Sophie Lauron, a hired thief, sent to cause distraction. Sophie said nothing. Poirot continued. She entered the suite, took photos, was meant to make noise, but she did not steal the diamonds. Heads turned. Because, Poirot said. The diamonds were already gone. All eyes turned to Marina. She pawned them, he said flatly, out of desperation. Gasps. George lowered his head. She was blackmailed, Poirot continued. Pushed by someone among us. Poirot turned to someone who knew her secret, and used it. He stepped toward Henri Dupont. The artist stiffened. Poirot laid down the final sketch. The Kent necklace, dated, signed by Dupont. You created this, weeks ago. Dupont swallowed hard. You knew every angle, every clasp. Poirot held out the envelope. The letters, the handwriting matches yours. Silence. You painted her face, then threatened her reputation. Dupont stayed quiet. You arranged the replica. You gave Sophie the instructions. You made her the pawn. Dupont's voice broke. I needed the money. Poirot nodded. You needed control. The palace remains, but the people within are forever changed. Dupont didn't resist. Guards took him. No words. No fight. Only silence. Poirot handed over the sketch and letters. They were enough. Forgery, blackmail, manipulation. 3 charges. Confirmed. The guests were dismissed. Staff returned to duty. Inside the study, Marina sat alone. She didn't cry. Not until George entered. He said nothing at first, then stepped forward. She didn't look at him. He sat beside her, still silent. I didn't know what else to do, she whispered. I thought it would end if I paid. George looked ahead. I would have helped. I didn't want you to see me as weak. You're not weak, she turned. But I lied. He didn't answer. Then he reached for her hand. I forgive you, she wept. Quietly. But you'll leave tonight. She nodded. No argument. I was used, she said. Yes, Poirot replied. But you followed willingly. She lowered her eyes. I won't forget, she said. I hope not. The guard led her out. The case was over. But the silence stayed. Later, I walked with Poirot. In the East Wing. It was quiet again. He didn't speak for some time. I asked, did you suspect Dupont from the start? No. Then when? When Sophie spoke of fear. What about Marina? She feared judgment, more than blackmail. I nodded. Poirot slowed his steps. Every case has noise, he said, but real truth hides in silence. He stopped at the corridor. I will write my report tonight. And then, Poirot looked at me. Then, he said, we rest until the next lie.